You know, I've been internally optimistic this entire generation about Xbox. It seems like there was a lot of times that I have different things that I want to say about Xbox that other people don't feel the same way, and that's fine because opinions are opinions at the end of the day. But now it seems like there is a particular site that puts it in perspective and kind of eloquently explains exactly what I've been saying, especially for the last couple of years, that makes it all seem to make much more sense. And I'm hoping that it helps you guys as well to understand more about where I'm coming from. I'll continue to be optimistic about Xbox, but it just, to me, Xbox has just done so much to turn itself around this generation, and I feel like it hasn't got enough credit for that because there's still a lot of this overwhelming hate for it. But this video hopefully will help along the way because this is some awesome stuff. Hey, what's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. I do appreciate it. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button because I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. Thank you guys so much. And hit the bell so you're notified of all the content as soon as it drops because that's very important as well. So, like I said, man, Microsoft has done a lot to kind of change what's been going on. And to see a bigger site kind of mention this, I thought was pretty good. It was pretty cool to see. So basically, it talks about how of course, it talks about 2013. Geez, we can't get away from that, right? 5 years ago, and people still talk about it. But you fast forward today, and the Xbox One X obviously is behind the PS4 by a significant margin. There seems to be probably little to no hope that the Xbox One will ever catch up to PS4 in terms of sales. And, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's actually helped Microsoft be a better company and Xbox be better to the fans. So, and this is what it says. Even though it's been a fairly disappointing generation for Microsoft, I'd argue that the company is actually winning the generation from its position in second place in matters other than lifetime sales. Of course, Microsoft seems to be doing more to move the gaming industry forward than Sony is, perhaps because it knows it can't catch up to the PS4 and therefore doesn't need to be concerned about creating value that only extends as far as Xbox and no further. I think one of the best examples of this, obviously, is the Play Anywhere stuff. When Microsoft first announced the new initiative, it left me scratching my head because it meant that there wasn't even less of a reason for someone who owns a capable PC to buy an Xbox. If a PC gamer decided they wanted to buy a console, Microsoft's move to put its Xbox exclusives on that platform meant that gamer would almost certainly be buying a PS4. Still, even if it may not make a ton of sense from a couple of manufacturers' perspectives, it's been great for PC gamers as it means they no longer need to buy a separate console to play games that Microsoft makes. Another thing I think is helping to move the gaming industry forward is Game Pass, which is something I don't think would have ever existed if Microsoft dominated this generation right out of the gate. Regardless, Xbox Game Pass offers really good value for the money, and as sad as it is to say it, that almost feels as novel in this video game age as designed to squeeze as much money out of players as possible. At worst, it's a cheap way for gamers to fill the gaps between major releases, but I imagine that for some, it's the primary way to play those games on Xbox One. I'm really excited to see where Game Pass goes in the future. In fact, Xbox Game Pass has already had an effect on the industry as Sony flipped the switch on game downloads for PlayStation Now back in September. Before that, PlayStation Now was only a streaming service, and I'm tempted to argue that it had not been for the competition from Game Pass, we would have never seen this feature come to PlayStation Now. He also brings up the adaptive controller revealed at launch earlier this year. The Xbox adaptive controller allows users to attach any variety of switches or buttons and map them to whatever function they want. This is a really good feature and very forward-thinking of Microsoft to be inclusive, to get lots of people to be able to play, to play games and things like that. Microsoft also seems to be on board with the idea of cross-platform functionality, while Sony isn't. Microsoft has a lot more to gain from cross-platform play, obviously, as one of its biggest titles, Minecraft, is available on a variety of different platforms outside of Xbox. What if aside, the reality is that the company that makes Rocket League said it was ready to flip the switch for Rocket League a couple of years back, and Microsoft loved the idea, but Sony did not. So then we have Microsoft plans to do in the future, namely device-agnostic game streaming. We have precisely no details about when it's going to launch or anything like that, but it is something that Microsoft is thinking about as well. Sony naturally deserves praise for all it's done during this console generation. Some of the PS4 exclusives have been very good throughout the past 5 years. Microsoft, however, possibly driven by the fact that the Xbox One will always play second fiddle to the PS4, has done a lot of things geared less toward elevating game has done a lot of things geared less towards elevating gaming and more towards bringing more people into the fold, whether it's the Xbox Adaptive Controller, Xbox Game Pass, or to move to do the Play Anywhere. They've all carried out the goal of making gaming more accessible and greater number of people. I'm not about to tell people to start choosing an Xbox over a PS4, but when all these initiatives are taken together, they sure do a lot to diminish the perceived gap between Sony and Microsoft this generation. And I agree 100%. And you could even throw in there things like, backwards compatibility, or the preview program and things like that, EA Access. Microsoft has done a tremendous thing in being able to keep people to make it easier to get gaming as a whole. You know what I mean? They've done everything we pretty much asked, and now buying the new studios and things like that, we see this continue to flourish. I'm going to link this so you guys can check it out. I find this to be very interesting, and kind of what I've been saying for the past couple years in particular. Microsoft has set themselves up very well. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.